There's quite a substantial difference in theory and application. Theory is to understand concepts like science, history, philosophy, mathematics, etc. Theory is applying what you've learned to the real world, real situations, etc., etc. I think the most intelligent and successful individuals are somewhere in the middle of application and theory. They take the time and due diligence to nurture their mind full of ideas. But if you don't apply those ideas, you're better off not having them. Some people are just doers. I used to be this way when I was young. I've always had good instincts and an innate ability to judge certain situations and people, but instead of having a strategy behind what I was doing, I would be the type of person that would ram right into a brick wall constantly until the sun went down instead of trying to read how to get around it. Some people were the opposite. They would read how to get around the wall, but they would never get outside to try to go around it. And of course, I'm using that as a metaphysical example. But the most successful people in business, life, politics, whatever field you want to use to measure success, they have a good foundational theory about what they believe, and then they go out and apply that theory. Now, just as I was the same extreme back then, in terms of just applying, trying to do things, I know certain people that are the opposite. Now, of course, I become more of a voracious reader. I read a lot, so a lot more of my moves are strategic. But I know certain people that are 180 degrees the opposite that I was. And a lot of those happen to be people who are very academically inclined. A lot of people in school who were told they were intellectual tend to get an ego. When you get an ego and a reputation, you want to live up to that reputation because other people have expectations about you. You get a big ego, you get a big head, in your subconscious mind, you're told you're intellectual. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing well academically. I wish I did better. That way I could have gotten better grants, I could have gotten into a better school, so on and so forth, and it would have made things easier. But at the same time, I think a lot of these people that are valedictorians, people that end up getting grants to go to universities, they're really good in a classroom setting. They're really good at understanding theory. There's a particular individual who I like personally. All my interactions with him on social media, in person, anytime I've seen him, he's always been very gregarious. He's always been very benevolent to me, even though we disagree, and I try to do the same to him. I'm always gentlemanly in my disagreements. We respect one another. But my entire youth, because I went to church with this guy, when I was young, I kept hearing how intellectual he was. See, society likes to put you in certain roles. In my youth group, you had the sports guy. You had the intellectual. You had the quiet guy. Of course, like any society, you're going to have a hierarchy and put people in roles. That's just the way our DNA is designed. We have been brought up that way since ancient Mesopotamia. That's just the way it is, since human civilizations have existed, and even before that. But there is this guy who, again, I like personally. I keep saying that because I'm not trying to attack him personally. My entire youth, I heard he's so intelligent, he's so intellectual, he always did well in school, he had a full-paid scholarship to a hard university to get into. But this dude, some of the stuff he posts on Facebook is stupid as hell. And what I mean is, I think he's really good at a system. He's really good at reading a book about mathematics and then writing it down, or science. But if you were to put him on the street and tell him to sell water in the Florida hot summer in bottles, he would struggle applying what he learned. If you look at the great thinkers, Edison, Tesla, Aristotle, Isaac Newton, there was no book to tell them how to think. Einstein as well. But these people came up with their own concepts, their own inventions, their own thing. There's no book, there's no information, there's no way to give you a foundation on how to do those things. That's why I don't really think a lot of academics are as intelligent as they think they are. A professor of business might know more about business history, the principles of a business, what's in a textbook than me, but if he was as successful in applying those principles, and he got compensated more in the free market by exchanging a good or a service valued by society, he would be in that business instead of teaching other people how to do that business. That's why I tell a lot of people who go into business school, the best thing to do is to get rejected. Go door to door, grow some balls, put on a nice suit, smell nice, go door to door, or go on social media, whichever way you communicate, and get rejected. The more you get rejected, the easier it becomes. It's like dating. You get used to it, and then eventually you have someone that says a yes. Think of the law of averages, okay? If a batter can bat 300 in Major League Baseball, he makes millions of dollars. That's getting a hit 3 out of every 10 times. So if you could get 3 out of every 10 people, then you're far above average considering the law of averages. But these people that are academics, this guy literally regurgitates everything the media says. He'll turn on CNN, he'll turn on ABC, CBS, they'll make a headline, he'll 100% believe it, and then he'll post regurgitating it. All of his thoughts, all of his tastes, his entire reality is formed by these large multinational media corporations. And what's weird about it is he's a socialist, yet all of his opinions are coming from large corporations that own the news media. But I noticed he's totally panicking about the coronavirus when there's only been 65 people diagnosed in the United States. But all over Facebook, he's like, oh. And it's crazy because today I got a lot done. I was exercising, I was reading, I was making some good business acquisitions, some good customer acquisitions. And I just thought, what a sorry dude. I mean, this dude's supposed to be smarter than I am. And that motherfucker's all over social media. Coronavirus. And I'm over here making business deals. Not to brag, I'm just pointing out that application versus theory is the only metric that matters in life.